Everybody with a Tascam. 414, of course. Welcome back to the Milky Way Galaxy. How we doing? I'm going to tell you how I did it. And what am I talking about? Of course, I'm talking about the modification to my Tascam 414. This modification allows me to do some cool stuff. That is some cool stuff, although that's not the cool stuff I'm talking about. Let's get serious here. I gotta put some headphones on so I can hear what it is I'm talking to you about. Yeah. All right. That's my video mixer, actually. But have no fear. The other Tascam is indeed here. That's right. I got two of these. I've got two of these Tascams. And we're going to open this up because I've had a lot of people ask me after Tape Tuesday how I got that modification. Let me demonstrate for you really quick. I got one of my cassette tapes here. Okay, so here's the Tascam I usually use on my Tape Tuesday show. There's no particular reason why I'm using this one over that one, but I do have both of them here today. It's kind of like an ease show. So let's check this out. Let's put in a normal cassette. And what I mean by that is that it's recorded at a normal Walkman speed. I think I used a Kenwood hi-fi cassette tape deck to record this tape. And in the Tascam 414, you would usually be hearing it. Well, let me just show you what it would normally sound like. I got the pitch control right here in the middle, and it would sound something like this. Wow. And you can slow it down a bit, but as you can hear, it's just a bit too fast. Now the modification I have, it's just two wires that come out of the back. And when you plug them in, it drops you down to a nice happy Walkman speed. Now that's about as slow as this machine will go without further modification. And honestly, I think it's as slow as I need it to go. Anyways, I use both of these on my ease shows, and they both have the same modification. As you can see here, I got the crazy strings coming out. These are your standard jumper cables for breadboard prototyping. So when you have these connected, it engages the Walkman mode, or the slow pitched down mode that you heard previously. When you release them, it goes back to normal Tascam speed, which I think is about 2 times fast. Anyways, what you're hearing in the background right now is Ease, episode 5. We got a link to that in the description. You want to check it out. So, if I remember correctly, we might have to take all these knobs off. Let me get a tool for that. And the trick is to just wedge in between the knob there gently. You don't want to scratch the interface or any of the paint. I should have a plastic one of these, but I don't know. I guess I'm in a bit of a rush. Jeez, it's been a bit of a pain today. There's gotta be a better way to do this. I'm not getting to it, that's for sure. I'm just a little bit scared here. I don't want to scratch my machine, you know? I think this one does come off easier. Oh, it did. It came off very easy. And all right, so let me show you here really quick how I have this kind of coming out of the machine. Once again, I told you I refuse to put a switch or screw into the nice, beautiful stock face of really any of my machines. When I make modifications, I do the absolute minimum that I can do as far as making incursions onto, into, or about them. So in this case, the incursion would be hidden right here, and you can see a little bit, there's a little bit of a plastic, there's a name for that, the swarf. But I'd like this because it just comes out of a screw hole. And this is nice because it's kind of the preliminary modification to adding an actual switch. So these are the two wires that would be, I guess, linked up to the switch. And it'd be a simple switch where all it would do is just connect these two and disconnect it as a circuit. I am not that technical on what is actually going on with this modification, but we're going to open this up and I'll show you exactly what the points are on the circuit boards. And I think what it does, it's adding a bit more resistance, or it's slowing down the current that the motor usually uses to run as fast as it's meant to, and it just drops the speed down. I do not remember how this opens up. I am firing in blind, and I try not to lose anything. Okay, so a bit of a wiggle and a jiggle, I think that has to happen. Or, you know what it probably is? There's a screw right here on this Tascam that needs to come out. So, 3, 2, 1, my friends, we have some kind of liftoff. If this were a rocket ship, I'm sure it would have already blown up already. I think it's these, the transport keys. They gotta get clearance. See that? See how I did that, you guys? You gotta get the keys. So now I can see what's going on inside there, and I know you can't. And I'm trying not to be too much of a monkey or something. A bull in a Tascam shop. I'm not really like a bull though. Oh, and I've already lost a screw. So what the hell did I do? It's not too cool, man. It's not too cool. So there's a screw. It's always an adventure when you're opening up some kind of a machine. There are some of these. What are they? Pins.
Pins.
I'm gonna be careful with these, but I'm gonna wedge off these little connectors. Yeah, they're connectors. And there's two of them. There's a small one right there that I disconnected. And then there's this one. And I think if you give it a nice wiggle jiggle, I hope this Tascam works after I'm done here. There is a third one there. I think I'll disconnect that too. And I'm not paying attention to which direction they go, which is probably silly, but I think that they have there's one direction they can go, and that's it. So now I've separated the two main chunks. And guess what, my friends? It looks like we indeed did not have to have all of that struggle with the knobs. And that might be why they didn't come off very easily, because they've never been off on this machine. Let's get this back in frame, although there is that rogue screw that fell out of my tape. Oh, my best laid tape plans. So here we are inside of the Tascam 414 multi-track recorder, and we gotta go a little bit deeper, of course, and I don't like doing it because I'm just doing it to show you guys, but it is gonna be helpful to know, I imagine, some of these things. I don't know how to keep that all together, but I imagine sometimes I like to screw them back in place where they came from. I can't remember. I'm not remembering this. It was years ago, you guys, when I did this modification. I'm really just flying in. I'm firing in, even. So, if I'm correct, we've got all the screws now. And these are the wires that were coming out of the back of the Tascam. You might be able to see them just a little bit. Maybe I'll zoom in and give you a slightly better view. But At this point, I'm kind of just verifying that we have everything ready to go. Oh, it feels like I'm missing something, and it's the power button is going to be doing some strange... Let's see if I can just kind of get it slide out here. A little wiggle jiggle. You always want to be soft and careful, okay? Now, immediately I'm seeing that there's those wires coming up from the underbelly, and that's our modification there, all right? But this is cool. Look, it's got a TIAC right there. See that? Can you see it? So what I've done here is I have drilled a hole into this standoff, just in the side of it, and that's where I run my wires out of the machine. Okay, does that make sense? And that is a broken one. Oh boy. So that's no fun. You gotta be careful. You don't want to over tighten things when you're done doing modifications and things like that. That is one part of my mod. You can of course do whatever you like with your cables and wires, but I chose to run it out right there, okay? My friends, this is what we went through all this trouble for. This is all a bit homespun, dodgy, janky, whatever you want to call it. I'm just trying not to touch too much. Okay. That is it. Now let me zoom in and try to get a nice shot of the modification. Can you see it? I hope. Now I gotta be kind of careful with this because I don't know how good of a solder job I did here, but you can see I added a little bit of heat shrink on that, and I will include a nice high definition photo of this so that you can really see what's going on. But all I'm doing is just connecting these. I guess I'm bypassing the resistor. I feel like there's a resistor on the other side of that, and if I could flip it around, we could confirm that. Indeed, there is a resistor on the other side, and it's one of these right here, one of these small boy resistors. Okay, and I think there are different models of this, so you're gonna have to verify that you're using the right model, but the resistor I am jumping, I guess, or bypassing is the middle one on this particular model of Tascam. And now if I can get a serial number off this board, that might help you guys differentiate which one this is, but there it is there. A 3E9021500A. That's the PCB from TIAC. And that, my friends, is the modification right there. All right, that's it. That is the one. Now, if I can get this put back together, that would be just great, because I am done being in here, and I just already decided I don't want to make any more modifications to this. Not today, anyway. Let me know in the comments if you've enjoyed this, and if you'd like me to do some more of these modification videos. I've been known to do some modifications every now and then, and I got some more machines that probably will be modifying here. So maybe I'll turn this into a usual format where I kind of just record myself doing the thing, and then I edit it into a nice quick video for ya. Well, let's hear what we made on the last episode of Tape Tuesday, and hoping everything is going to work, and it looks like it's working just great. So that's about as fast as a normal Tascam will go, and so here's the modification in action on this machine. So these are unplugged. As you can tell, it's running, as fast as it can. let's slow it down. That's as slow as you'll get with a Tascam 414 normally. And with the modification, now we're back down to Walkman speed. And you just leave those kind of plugged in together based on whatever you're doing. That's a healthy, happy, hefty cassette tape loop, and that's really cool because I showed you guys on the last episode of Tape Tuesday. That's episode 22, Tape Tuesday, how to sync up a drum machine to a tape loop. And what good is a 909 without some 303? And if you really want to get scientific with it, we can make sure this machine is sounding good by just taking this tape straight out of this machine and putting it into the number one Tascam. What's sounding a little bit dull? I don't know. Sometimes when I do the Ease show, I wonder about my machines. Let's give it some power. We need that. And yeah, it does sound a bit better, but the treble was all the way up on here. Let's do a little bit of a science comparison. Do a bit of a checkup on my machines. Maybe that's why I use this machine. The pans were a bit weird too. There we go. And the reason why we love cassette tapes, because it's so crunchy. See, a nice lo-fi crunch. Okay, here's time for some science. Let's take that same tape out. I got pretty much everything similar. And let's hear it on this machine now. I would say they sound pretty close, although not really. This is sounding a bit, on this 303 track, it's sounding a bit, I don't know, dull? It'd be good to know. Let's just put this all the way up here, and we'll put this in the normal section. It's the damn DBX again! This thing has... Oh, why do I ever put that on? Okay, now it's time for real science, now that we have figured out our variables. Let's go back to this 303 track here really quick. And it definitely sounded a bit dull, and yeah, it was Dolby. Let's turn it off. Ready? Oh, yes, that's much brighter. Okay, so now we can do some more science here. Sounds a lot better. Let's go back to the other Tascam. My bad, you guys. I know I make mistakes and stuff, but that was a bad one, I think. And now this sounds a little bit louder, but it could be... I'm not sure why. There you go. And now you got yourself 2 happy Tascams. I encourage you to make this modification to your Tascam 414. Do verify the model number. I don't know the specifics on that, but as it stands, these are my hands. And we'll big jellyfish you away, my friends, today. How cool is that? Yeah, I've been meaning to make that video for a while. That is how you modify your Tascam 414 to get Walkman speed. Slow it down just a little bit. That's one of the main complaints about the Tascam 414 is that you can't play normal pre-recorded tapes on it. And you need more range, really. Especially when you're doing tape loops. So a machine like this will eat through that tape loop very fast indeed. So if you can drop the speed, it gives you a little bit more to work with. Now that'll bring me into the next episode of Tape Tuesday. I think we're going to try to tackle the OODLES of Noodles tape loop. And that's where we have some strange things going on inside of the tape to make sure that it doesn't get all eaten up and torn up and, as Gonzin called it, a log jam inside of the Oodles of Noodles tape loop. Don't want that. No, sirree, we don't. So we're going to try it out, and if we're lucky, we'll get a really good system for it that doesn't require any kind of 3D printing, and we'll be doing Oodles of Noodles tape loops. Once again, I love you all, and I love this planet, and I know that you love this planet too. Love your mother. Have a good one, guys. We'll catch you on the next show. Give me a like and subscribe if this was helpful and if it was fun for ya, you know. Make sure to check out my sample banks on electricarchaic.com. Make sure to check out my shows linked in the description. It's all about ease. Electric Archaic Soundscape Expeditions. That's it, my friends. I gotta go. Peace and love for everyone all the time.